The Chicago Bears offensive line 3 weeks ago was a pretty big concern amongst Bears fans, and Nate Davis was not practicing and no one knew why. Coleman Shelton and Ryan Bates were launching snaps all over the place, and we had no idea who our starting center was going to be. The defensive line, who many did not expect to be who they are and are proving to be, especially in our preseason games, was causing a ton of pressure, which was concerned because we weren't sure, are they really good or is our offensive line really bad? And as Bears Nation, including myself, we were looking in other directions, potentially in free agency, for Ryan Poles to go out and quickly improve this offensive line. Well, as time always tells, because through 3 preseason games, only 10 quarterback pressures and 2 sacks allowed, the entire room is looking pretty darn solid through 3 preseason games, and I'm feeling more and more confident about this offensive line entering the season. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. I'm here to break down how the Bears offensive line is doing so far this preseason and why I think this unit will be a lot better than many expected. Starting off with the starters as a whole, followed by our top depth guys and how much depth we really have, my top 3 performers so far, injury report, and final comments. And before we begin today's show, please make sure to hit that like button if you're ready for the Chicago Bears to play some NFL football week 1 against the Titans, along with commenting your grade of the offensive line so far this preseason. I'm putting a B- at the moment, as there is still some room for improvement, but I'm feeling a lot better about these guys every single day. So let's go into the starters. Obviously, the key unit that's going to continue to protect Caleb Williams and continue his success. Let's start with Braxton Jones, who has been doing a solid job so far, all things considered. He looks stronger, faster, and has only given up 2 quarterback pressures so far in 9 offensive drives for the third-year 5th rounder from Ryan Poles' first draft. No penalties so far either, which was a big problem for Braxton Jones. I'm happy to see what he is bringing to the table, clearly showing clear improvement. If Jones can take that next step to not just be a middle-of-the-pack left tackle, maybe even be a top 12 to top 10 left tackle in this league, it'll be huge for not only Caleb Williams, but this offense as a whole, as it's another key pick we can keep for next year. Likely, we won't have to pay him top left tackle money, even though we are going to have to pay him if he does take that leap. And he's continuing to improve this overall offense as a whole. I mean, Shane Waldron has got to be able to trust his offensive line before he can give Caleb Williams the top plays, and he's definitely doing that so far. So shout out to Braxton Jones. He looks also really solid on different swing plays that the Bears have ran so far, looking athletic, looking quick. And I'm going to give him a B- grade to start in the first 3 preseason games. I would like to see him continuously make some more improvement, but I think that he is doing a fine job and has showed improvement from last season. Now going into fan favorite currently at the moment, Teven Jenkins, who is entering the last year of his rookie contract. And this guy, considering that this is the healthiest has been his entire career so far, I am loving every second of what he is bringing to the table. You know, the third-year man out of Oklahoma State has been all over the offensive line in his career, you know, starting at right tackle, then he was at guard, and then he went to the other guard. You know, they thought about putting him at center. They didn't end up doing that, though, thank goodness. But he has showed versatility and that he is a great lineman because he can play at all different positions. He's also looks a lot faster, a lot stronger, and his health obviously is a big thing. He's only been seen limping on the sideline one time, and it looked like it was like a slight muscle strain. Wasn't anything tears, wasn't anything broken or anything like that, because he took some water, took some Gatorade, rode on the bike for a couple minutes, and was back out there with the ones. And he's taken the investment to make himself a better player on the field. Apparently, he spent thousands of dollars over this offseason in order to better understand his body and what it takes, what his nutrition needs to be, stretching, all that good stuff, in order to be the healthiest offensive lineman he can be. And on top of it, he has voiced that he wants to continue to be a Chicago Bear. Apparently, him and his team, along with Ryan Poles in the front office, are going to be talking during the Bears bye week after week 8. So he's doing a great job overall as well. He's protecting Caleb Williams. He's creating holes up the middle. He's working up the field. He's had some really nice plays overall that I'm going to get to in a little bit. Just Teven Jenkins, I'm giving an A-. I would love to see this guy progress and stay healthy, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table, because right now at the moment, it looks like he's starting week 1 with 100% health, and we haven't had that out of him yet. So great news so far for Teven Jenkins. Then going over to center, I'm going to Coleman Shelton, who's been very impressive so far. We had had Zach Pearson on a couple of weeks ago, who said he was talking to some of his buddies in the LA Rams media room and that he is a solid player. We should not underestimate him, and we got to steal with that 1-year contract. And so far, he's absolutely proven that solid double team blocker, great pass blocker too, good snaps. I know he had a couple to struggle in the beginning, but he's definitely made progress. Not only that, he knows Shane Waldron's offense from, the Sean McVay style offense and the West Coast. So things are working really well too. He's brought this offensive line up to speed. He's helped Caleb Williams. He's called out different plays, picked up different blocking assignments. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Coleman Shelton so far, and I'm excited to go to the next stage with him too. I have him at a B right now. I think that he's doing what he needs to do, especially for the value we're bringing. And I want to see what he does next. He still struggles a little bit in the run blocking department, but overall only one pressure given up the middle. I like what I'm seeing so far this preseason. Then Nate Davis, who's obviously a big topic of conversation for the Chicago Bears world right now. I'm happy to see that he's back. All things aside, he looks healthier. He's one of the better guards in the league when he is healthy. And he is our highest paid offensive lineman, so he should be one of our best ones. He's had one bad play, in my personal opinion, this offseason. I mean, against the Bengals, I think for a guy that hasn't played a lot, he did a good job. He had some really nice blocks, especially pass blocking, had some nice holes up the middle. He's still struggling a little bit with that speed, but he's just shaking off the rust. So I'm pleased to see what I'm seeing out of Nate Davis, but he has to continuously do this to win over the Bears fandom again. So I'm giving him a C+, all things considered, but a lot of this wasn't his fault if it truly was an injury of why he was out. But he's looking better so far. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him, and I hope that he continues to progress because we definitely need him for a season of success, especially playing at the top of his game. Then finally, Darnell Wright, our first-round pick from last year, is a silent successor. We haven't been talking about Wright all that much, which that's a good thing because it means that he's not doing anything wrong. Not saying he's doing anything over the top, but I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Darnell Wright. He looks thinner, he looks stronger, he looks faster. He definitely has been on the field. He's been the only lineman that I haven't heard hurt at all during training camp, so knock on wood with that. But he's been doing great on and off the field. Really good pass protection, no sacks allowed, 2 quarterback pressures, which is going to happen, and also because Caleb Williams moves around the pocket. So Darnell Wright's doing a fantastic job. So hats off to him. So the starting group, I'm giving a pretty solid grade of a B- out of the gate. Darnell Wright, I'm giving a personal B+, but I like what I'm seeing so far out of the starting offensive line, and I hope that explanation helped calm Bears fans down a little bit. Now, before I get more into today's show, I'm excited to share that our first watch party of the season, partnered with Freshly Organic Tequila Seltzer Authentico in Rizzo's Bar and Inn, is happening in week 2 on Sunday Night Football when the Bears take on the Texans. It's going to be one heck of a party. We had 350 plus people at our draft party, and we're hoping to have the same amount here. You get in your ticket a Bears-themed drink, entry, and a donation to a local Chicago charity. So it goes to a good cause and a good time, so you definitely want to make sure you make it. Tickets are only $20, and the link is in the description, so make sure you go out and get that today. Quickly, let's go into the depth. I'm going to hit on 3 guys: Larry Borom, Matt Pryor, and Ryan Bates. Starting with Larry Borom, I think that he was a roster bubble guy at the beginning of camp, but he's definitely proven his worth and improved significantly. He's looking a lot faster and more solid as a swing tackle, and he's not giving up a ton of pressure. He's been the leader of the twos in my personal opinion, which is a great thing to be, and he's earned himself a spot on this roster, especially with his most recent play. Then new guy on the block, Matt Pryor, who I'm loving so far. He knows Shane Waldron's offense, has done a really solid job so far, and he's been able to flux in and out of guard and tackle, standing at 6'5", 310 plus pounds. This guy's big, and he's also quick. He's got great athleticism, good attitude, and very healthy on the field, and he's worked in Shane Waldron's offense before, being a big reason why this offensive line has made big strides so far. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Matt Pryor. We only have him on a 1-year contract, but he's a good positive attitude to have in the locker room. Seems like the offensive line room loves him, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. Then finally, Ryan Bates, who we brought in from the Buffalo Bills in a trade, has been thrown into a lot of different situations with Nate Davis, the center competition, all that stuff. And even though he's not starting, he's our top depth piece for sure. He's not a starting center at the moment because Coleman Shelton's clearly shown that, and that's what we brought him in for. But overall, Ryan Bates has been thrown everywhere. I like what he's bringing to the table. He's a good, solid locker room guy too. He's been healthy. He's had a slight leg injury, but he's been back out there and working his way back onto the field. So overall, I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Ryan Bates so far. 10 for 10, great trade by Ryan Poles, and happy he's a part of the team. So overall, those are my top 3 depth guys. There's a lot more, but it's good to know that we have 3 solid guys that could have been starters and better than our starters the last couple of years. Now our depth room is looking a lot better, and I'm feeling really good about the Chicago Bears offensive line at the moment. Before I get into my top 3 performers, I would like to thank today's sponsor, BetUS.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
BetUS online sportsbook and casino is where you can find so many different betting options throughout the NFL season. And with BetUS, we're partnered with them, giving you guys a 125% match bonus up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Make sure you go to my link in the description below to sign up. And throughout the season, I'll be randomly giving people $25 in free bets. So make sure you make an account. Tell me you got it, and I'll make sure that I put you on the list of people that might get some free money. Quickly going into my top 3 performers, starting with Darnell Wright. Like I said, hasn't been talked about much, but that's a good thing. Chicago's first-round pick last year has been doing a great job, and I think he did a great job last year. He's shown progression. He shows that he's learning. He's already dealt with 2 different offensive playbooks, and he's a quick learner. So I'm loving what I am seeing out of Darnell Wright so far. My second guy is Coleman Shelton. I think that it comes with a heavy weight on his shoulders that we know that the Chicago Bears nation needed a center, especially to protect Caleb Williams, and he has done that. Very fast, very solid vision, good community guy as well. Again, barely any pressure and no penalties so far this season. His snap looks good, and I like what I'm seeing out of Coleman Shelton. But my number 1 guy, easy pick, Teven Jenkins. What more can I say? This guy has been awesome so far. I love what I'm seeing, the energy he brings. I hope he keeps up for the rest of the year, and I'd love to see him that his career injury bug was just in the beginning of his career, and he's going to have a very solid career moving forward. But I love what I'm seeing out of Teven Jenkins, and he's my number 1 Chicago Bears offensive lineman at the moment. Quickly into injuries, Braxton Jones did suffer an injury against the Cincinnati Bengals game, but it appears to be an arm injury, so something to keep an eye on, and I will be calling out on Twitter. Along with that, Ryan Bates' leg injury looks like it's been getting significantly better, and he should be back at practice this week. All I will say is that I'm impressed. Both sides of the trenches have impressed much more than expectations at the beginning of the season, so I'm excited for this group, and I hope that the group continues to progress because their success will help Caleb Williams continue to progress as well, and what will make this a great offense for the Chicago Bears for years to come. But with that, thank you as always for tuning this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, bear down, baby.